Good morning, good morning. Well, I'm afraid you're stuck with me and Buster, of course, today. I will do another video with Sue. She doesn't come every week because she works strange hours and different things. She works in the caring profession. She's not a nurse, I don't think, but she does work in the caring profession, so she does work shift work. What was I going to say first of all? Oh yeah, the first thing she said was, when she played the video back, was, don't we sound northern? I mean, we are northern, we can't be anything else. There's no point putting on airs and graces and fancy accents, is there? We are what we are, you know. I know what she means though, because I've got another friend who's a northern lass, but she's living down south at the moment. And she said, oh, thank you for that. I've got me fix of a northern accent, because obviously where she's living now, there's no northerners. Yeah. Well, the first thing I want to show you was the value of keeping a small piece of yarn like that. Buster, there's nobody there, stop it. Because when I wore my Christmas sweater the other day, I noticed that I'd started to come adrift on one of the seams. My terrible sewing up. That's why I like to do cardigans and that, you know, that come from the neck down, that don't have arms that you have to stitch in. So I went upstairs and lo and behold, look, I found a piece. I know most of you would have thrown them away, but not this girl, not this girl. Right, what am I doing at the moment? Well, this is, oh, hang on a minute. This is the chaos that I surround myself with. I'm making another of the shawls done in all multicolours, and so this is the way I roll. I have to put them all out and look at them as they go to see which goes next to which. And, you know, they might look haphazard, but I do actually put some thought into them, although it may not look it, but I do. Another thing I'll tell you, what am I wearing today? A very, very old sweater that I actually made before I left the shop, so we're talking the 1990s. It's Sirdar wash and wear. It's a little bit small for me now, but who cares? So it just shows that when you make your own things, how long they actually last. The pattern is old. If you can buy a pattern, I will tell you. Or if you can get one free on Ravelry, I will tell you. But if I tell you it's a very, very old pattern, then please don't ask, because I haven't seen it for years, not advertised anywhere, not on Etsy, not on eBay, not anywhere. I haven't seen it advertised. So it's a very, very old pattern, so please don't ask me. And I won't violate copyright, because I know it's an old pattern, but it's probably still in copyright because it's Hayfield. And I don't want to get chucked off YouTube for doing something naughty, because I believe they throw you off for anything these days. Anyway, what have I got? Look at my little notes. Yeah. So I put a bit of makeup on today, you know. My mother used to say, oh, Lady Jane's got a face on, you know. That was her nickname for me when she thought I was getting a bit above myself. You know, if I was getting all dressed up and putting face on and everything like that, she'd go, oh, where are you going, Lady Jane? Dressed up like that, yeah. Still, never mind. Right, what have we got? I've got some books, but I'll show you those in a minute. What have I been doing this week? Well, I got sidetracked into looking at crocheting books I have got, because I have so many that I haven't looked through them and I forget what's in them. So I spent one day or one evening going through them. I haven't even started on the magazines. Don't get me on the magazines or the single patterns. Not even started on that. And I'm finding so many like, oh, I like that. Oh, isn't that lovely? Oh, I forgot all about that. So I think it does do you good now, every now and again, to actually browse through the things that you've already got. Because I'm a demon. I have to buy this pattern book, this magazine, this. And half the time I find out that I've got most of the patterns in different places, so I needn't have spent my money. But that's by the by. Well, I met up with my friend, Janico, and she is going to do a live model for me with my hats, scarves, cowls, whatever. You know, so the pictures that I'm going to be putting on Etsy will feature a live person. Wow! You know, which, I mean, no offence to Paris, but she is a little bit wooden, isn't she? And let's face it, nobody wants to think that they're going to look like me wearing one. I mean, I'm not being I know you're all going to say, oh, there's nothing wrong with you, but I'm not the market that I'm aiming at, if you understand what I mean. The market that I'm aiming for is younger than me and perhaps a bit more trendy than me, you know. And I would hate anybody to look at me modelling something and think they're going to look like me wearing it, because that could really put off any sales I get, but that's by the by. What else have I been doing? Oh, I've been taking a leaf out of Margaret, sheepishly sharing, Margaret Olander. She started doing this declutter. If you only do 15 minutes different out of your day, we're not talking chores here, what you normally would do. It's something like organising one drawer or whatever. So I've been taking a little leaf out of her book, and I have been doing a little bit, although it is a little bit, Margaret, but I have been doing a little bit each day. It's not making much of a difference at the moment because my house is just a complete and utter. I've not got a tidy gene in my body. I'm just so untidy. And I think when you craft, you cannot be as tidy. Although I look at people's craft rooms on YouTube and I think, oh, wow, aren't they tidy? Unless they just tidy it up for the camera. Maybe they do that. Maybe it's just me, yeah. See, I've got a little note. See, I'm getting a bit more organised. I've got my notes here today. What else have I got to say? Can't even read my own writing now. Terrible, isn't it? Oh, I've been naughty. I've ordered some yarn from Ice, but before you all shout, I had to order some yarn for an order. But I must admit that some more crept in there. But if you've ordered from Ice, you'll know that the postage is quite high. So you might as well justify it by getting getting your money's worth, let's just say, from the postage. So that's what I've done. Hasn't arrived yet, so I can't show you, yeah. Hayley, you know, Hayley's hat's been influencing me. She's using a slow cooker a lot, you know, putting stews and things in, because it's that kind of weather over here. And so I've got a bacon hot pot in. Bacon hot pot is just bacon, potatoes and onions. It's in my slow cooker. So she hasn't been making any videos lately, smack her hands. She hasn't been crocheting, she's been like me, she's been in a bit of a slump. But as I said to her, you know, she can take it, she's got snow up there and different things. It doesn't have to be a crochet video. She could, you know, take a photograph of her taking the dog for a walk, you know, in all the snow. Things like that. Just so that people remember who she is. You know, she tends to have long gaps between her videos. Yeah. And talking about long gaps, I'm very glad to see Sharon again. Sharon Bucci, she's had a lot of illness this last year. And a bereavement of a friend. And so I'm really glad to see you back, Sharon. And I hope you get your... As she said, her heart's not in her crocheting. I know exactly what she means. You know, sometimes I go right off it. I am crocheting, but my heart's not in it. You know, it's something I don't want to be crocheting, or it's something I don't want to do. So I know what you mean, Sharon, so stick with it, because I like watching your videos. Well, there's another thing. Somebody asked me, how do I find people on YouTube, you know, to watch? How do I find them? And the good thing is, if you find somebody that you like, have a look at what they watch. And then, you know, if you like their videos, odds on is you're going to like the people that they watch. So this is how you accumulate like a watch list. And also I subscribe to people that I've watched and I like. And that means that when they put a new video out, I get an update, you know, in my mail. So that way I don't miss anything. Because I'm always chatting to people and they say, oh, I didn't see that video. Oh, where did you find that from? So my advice is subscribe to anybody that you like. Do subscribe. Because otherwise you might miss something that you really want to watch. Right, now that's all my chit chat over, I think. I think we'll go straight into what I've been buying in the books. The first one I bought is a red heart one. It's called Crochet Hats, Scarves and Wristlets. I'll see if I can show you much without getting into trouble with copyright. I think I can actually with this, because this one does big pictures like that. That's called Gifty Wristers. So that's quite nice. It's nice, sort of basic-y that wouldn't look too namby-pamby on a man, yeah. Buster, you don't have to yell, there's nobody there. That one, I'm afraid you're going to not be able to see it very well, it's a bit dark. It's a scarf, but it's done in motifs. So that is not one for Janet's list, because it's circles. One day I will get over my phobia of circles. One day I will do it. because that's another one, and they're lovely, but they're circles again. I don't mind circles if they finish up as a square, if you understand what I mean. Circle in the middle and finish it up as a square. Sort them out. I cannot link together. I've bought book after book. I've watched YouTube videos, and my brain just does not work on joining circles together. That's a man's 2-hour hat. I have to cover up the instructions, or destructions as Ariane calls them. And that's fingerless gloves. Let me see if there's a better picture. No, there isn't. This is so difficult. Let me cover up. There we are. It's nice when they put a nice big picture into it, then you can not get into trouble. That's a lumberjack hat. It's I mean, I personally wouldn't wear that because I'd look a bit silly at my age, I think, but yeah, I can understand younger people wanting to wear something like that. Right, that's another one I've got to cover up the destructions on. That's called a crafty headband. It's got circles, but they're joined together at the edges, they're not joined together, so I could get away with sewing them together. Sorry to keep licking my fingers, but I can never turn pages. Probably because I bite my nails and I've got no fingers. That's a plain. That's another reason why I don't do tutorials. I hate my bitten fingernails, and I'm sure nobody else wants to see them. That's just a hat and scarf set. The funny thing is, I haven't always bitten my fingernails. I used to as a child, and then I stopped. Then I started again, and then I stopped. And I've had long fingernails now for about 3 years, and then about 6 months ago, I suddenly bit them all off again. Don't understand why I do these things, but who's to know? But it's something to do with nerves, I don't think, because, you know, my nerves are not, I'm not particularly bothered about anything. That's a very chunky hat. It's just a bad habit. I can be watching something on the TV if I'm not crocheting, or looking at something on YouTube, and before I know it, my fingers are in my mouth. Scarves 4 ways. Funny enough, you know, even though I do it myself, it's one of those things that I hate on other people. I look at them and think, oh, to bite the fingernails, how awful. Mine are worse than theirs. This one's a raspberry beret. It's got a pattern on the back of it, like a lacy pattern, but it doesn't show the back very well. It's just a tiny, where are we? A tiny little picture of the pattern book. Buster, there's absolutely no one there. He's having a right grump for some reason or another. That's a basic sort of hat and scarf set. Now that's the sort of thing my niece will like. Not perhaps the scarf, but she'd like the hat. I make her hats and she always says, I'm sorry but I keep losing them. So, and then that one's just a basic, where we cover up again, basic man's sort of hat with a pom-pom. It looks a bit like front post, back post, but I can't say for sure until I have a look at it. And then that's more of a lacy evening scarf, I presume. It's got the big sequins, are they called palettes or palettes or something, around the edge. So that's all that there is in this book. That's it's a red heart book. It's called Crochet, Hats, Scarves and Wristlets. I bought it through Amazon if you want to know where I bought it from. Now this one is another one by Red Heart. And this again, I've got most of the patterns in different places, but I'd have to go and search out the books that they're in. Cardigans and jackets to crochet. They're now that one, I've got that one. I think it was in one of those Simply Crochet books or something, like Crochet Today books. It's called the is it called the Snowflake or something? Is it? Oh no, Capelet Swing Cardi. That's probably because it crosses over at the top like a cape, isn't it? This one again, I've got this in another book or magazine, but I can't remember which one. I've got that one. I'm quite into different colours, so I've not got that one. That's, to be quite honest, that reminds me of a bed jacket. It's very pretty, very nice, but perhaps if it wasn't in white and she wasn't wearing it, or cream, and I don't think I like that big bow at the front. You know, if you wore it with a belt or you put a button on it, that'd be great, yeah. But I'm not a big bow person. I try to be feminine, but really, you know, strictly speaking, I'm not. See, that's more me, you know, having it wrapped around with a belt. And I shouldn't let the colours influence me, because I'm not really a pale colour person. People have said that pale pink does suit me, but it's not my, you know, what I would normally gravitate towards, you. And that's a sort of a Chanel style jacket, but it's got the edges on it. I don't know whether it's ribbon threaded through or yarn threaded through. It's and that one, oh gosh, again it's all the instructions. It's just a long wraparound jacket. Quite plain, but they're very useful. I find that a lot of plainer things are quite useful in your wardrobe. You don't always want to wear a fancy stitch cardigan, do you? And that one, I've got that in another book somewhere. It's all different stitches. And the back is, if I can show you the back without showing you too much. Oh, it's a good job I've got my notepad here, isn't it? So I can cover up most of the words. The back has got different panels of different stitches, if you can see it. These were quite inexpensive, really. They were about a £5 or something. And if you order more than £10 on Amazon, you get them post-free. Well, you do in the UK anyway. That one, I don't think this one's for me, because it's fitted and I just don't have a fitted figure, yeah. Quite nice on somebody else, yeah. But not for me. So this one's a red heart pattern. It's called Cardigans and Jackets to Crochet. And the last one I've bought, I've got some more to come actually, but they haven't arrived yet, is Vanna White, Wrapped in Love. And obviously from the title, as you can gather, they're all wraps, yeah. Well, wraps and... That's... Now it looks like a bolero, but it's called a wrap. So I've got the feeling that it's one of those without a proper backing, you know. It just goes across the back, and then the front bits go around and join at the back. There'll be like a hole in the back. But I haven't read it. And one of my pet peeves is that there isn't schematics, yeah. If there were schematics, I would know whether it had a backing or not. I mean, I could tell, but by reading the pattern, it doesn't appear to have a back, but it might do when you start crocheting it. So it's a bit difficult to... Wish they put a back for you. That's a kind of a deco-shaped shawl, it says. It's actually more like a wide scarf to me. I don't know what the shape it is. It looks like it's got narrow pieces around the neck and wider pieces at the bottom. No, I like that one. That's a 2-colour wrap. It's just a long, straight, almost shawl-like, but it's a wrap. Now this one is a shrug. That's a proper shrug. It's labelled as that. And it does have schematics on this one, but it shows it's got a back and 2 fronts, yeah. So that one is a shrug. I don't know why there's schematics on some and not on the others. Now this one's a rectangular shrug. Again, I can't make my mind up whether you just stitch it together and, you know, it doesn't appear to have a back. It's just, again, there's no schematics on this. The ones you want the schematics for don't have them. This one's the one on the front cover. It's called a button lace shawl. It's just done as a huge rectangle, and then you sew the buttons on in different places. But I think I'd have to put more buttons because you can see she's hanging onto the bottom like grim death. So I think it would probably fly open. Oh. Excuse me one moment. If it's a cold caller, I'm going to kill him.